Well, hello all and welcome. So today, really big rumour that has came out by Vulcan Reporter, a page I've, to be honest, never actually heard of before, but apparently a very reliable source, so that must mean something. But yes, so far this is just a rumour. So what is this said rumour? Well, apparently Tom Hardy has indeed been cast as the next James Bond. Now, because I was so prepared for said thing, I'm actually going to quickly just read out the said report that should be here. Here's open. Why is it backed out? It backed out. I had it all set up and ready, and then it backs out. Ugh. Okay, now I have it because I was clearly prepared for doing this. So, from the Vulcan Reporter, again, I've never, maybe I'm just being dumb these days, but I never heard about that. These are the folks that are the ones that have said that apparently Tom Hardy cast as 007th James Bond. 007th James Bond? Oh yeah, because he's the 7th one now. Yes, hilarious. So just reading off of this, and then I'll kind of have a little chitter chat after it. So yes, talking about here, Daniel Craig's successor has been found. Tom Hardy will be taking over the role of James Bond. Now there's a name to die for. Oh Jesus, we're doing puns in this thing. Oh Jesus, okay. As already know, No Time to Die, currently set for November, will be Daniel Craig's fifth and final outing as a fictional MI6 agent. Naturally, fans have been speculating for years about who they think will be taking over from Craig after No Time to Die. Today, I've learned that this successor is none other than Mad Max and Venom actor Tom Hardy. Are we really going to mention Venom? Oh, Jesus. Of all the movies he's done, maybe Legend or something, that's a damn good movie. Venom, don't mention Venom. I understand that this casting decision is a popular fan cast. I also know that every British news, website, rumour, blog under the sun, including The Sun, has been claiming that Tom Hardy will be playing new Bond. What I kind of like there is they clearly know fine well that we get that when The Sun say these things, don't believe it. So this is an interesting one if I'm honest. Seeing as how these news sites churn out the Who's Playing Bond article every week or so, I'm going to assume that they don't actually know who the next Bond is. Alright, okay. Be that as it may, I will not brand this article as an exclusive. I also hope you understand that I am not the type just to populate the fancast and run with the scoop. I expect the people who follow my scoops know my credibility to help me with the making this article stand out in comparison to articles from other news websites I mentioned earlier. Okay, this is interesting. This is interesting. While Tom Hardy was expected to be announced as the new Bond in November, alright, this does not seem to be the case anymore due to coronavirus. I appreciate the announcement to come out this year all the same. Early 2021 also seems likely if No Time to Die gets delayed again. The series of spy movies are based on the fictional character MI6 agent who originally appeared in the... It's just things that we know. I think that's kind of roughly the main... Yeah, I was just going to say what else. Okay, so just kind of quickly talking about, here I shut my phone. There we go. I am kind of on both sides of this argument, not argument, I guess, rumour. It's been rumoured for years. Tom Hardy's always been in that list. He's with Idris Elba, Michael Fassbender, Tom Hiddleston. And if I'm honest, in that list, probably Tom Hardy is the one I would probably really kind of go for. He can kind of do what I kind of want from Bond, and hopefully something he would maybe do is, I want to see a more kind of psychological Bond, more kind of really kind of maybe channeling the mental health state, because someone who drinks heavily and who kills for a living and who's beaten and broken is surely going to be affected by said things. And yeah, they kind of touched a little bit of that, Daniel Craig, but I think that'd be really good. Like, I would love to see a Bond who not necessarily is like muscular, but more kind of just built, and you know, he's got scars, and you know, if he drinks all the time, surely that man wouldn't have a six pack. Surely he wouldn't be that kind of ripped. But on the other side, I would kind of like an unknown, if I'm honest, a bit like what Daniel was, because Tom Hardy's big. Is that a bad thing to have right now? Maybe it is kind of good to, you know, bring in people to Bond with someone that they kind of know. Maybe we're past the stage of we're able to just go, here's James Bond. You're just like him now. Maybe we're past that a little bit now. Maybe we need to have a star as the role. I mean, Bryce, we have had it before. Roger Moore was well known at the time, and Pierce Brosnan very much so as well. So there has been moments where, you know, they've kind of went back and forward with an unknown like Sean Connery, or as well as George Lazenby. And Dalton's always a funny one. Like, he wasn't a complete unknown, but he was well known, especially in the theatre background. He was very much known in relatively in Britain, but I think like worldwide, not so much really. But this one I find interesting because I do think about it, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, if it was announced Tom Hardy was going to be the next Bond, I wouldn't hate it. I'd be like, cool, let's get going. I don't agree when people come out with, oh, he's too old, he's 43 now, or I think he is, or something like that, and like, who cares? I can't imagine deep down Eon and Barbara and all that really care about the age that, like, if he's like into his 50s, maybe yeah, but like, see when people come out with, and I'm kind of in it, but not when they come out with, oh, it's for longevity and all that. I'm like, see if they get like a good couple of movies out an actor. I think I'm fine with that, to be honest. And see if we at least get like a solid, maybe like a nice wee trilogy or something. Maybe even do like a proper, actual, decent Spectre trilogy. Maybe a modern day one. I wouldn't hate that. You know, just we don't. I don't think we need to have, and I don't think we're ever really going to get like a Bond being 7 movies, 8 movies length now. I just don't think that's going to be a concept anymore, really. But it's interesting, some of the stuff from the reports. You know, they say once obviously the new one comes out that they will announce a Bond after it, and you know, I wouldn't be shocked. Like, I mean, the movie's done now, so surely Barbara and all that are kind of thinking about, right, who's next. You know, I hate to tell you, but it's, you know, it's a machine. You got to keep going, and you know, we can't keep pushing back this movie because it will just make less and less money as it goes on. You know, people say push it back to next year, but next year is packed as it is now with movies, and we don't know how long this is going to go on for. So, like, we need to like kind of think about the reality here that this movie sadly is not going to make a billion. It's just not going to make the money. It's probably actually going to nearly make less probably than the previous movies. To be honest, there has been of Daniel Craig's. I wouldn't be surprised because, you know, Tenant kind of, you know, I think it's kind of been decent, to be fair, for like kind of, you know, we're still in a pandemic right now, so when people are coming out with, oh, it's made nothing, it's like, well, it's not made nothing, right? Don't be that dramatic. You know, it has actually made relatively decent money. Of course it would like to make way more money than it did, but I do think they'll kind of re-release that movie at some point when it maybe like next year. I wouldn't be surprised at this rate. But the idea of Tom Hardy, I don't hate it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't hate it. Yes, I would love to see an unknown. Is it a bit obvious as well? Yes, it's a bit obvious, but look, all I want at the end of the day is a good actor in that role, and someone who will either at least kind of try and do something new or really put effort into it, like a bit like what Daniel did, where, you know, you wanted to do kind of reinvent it a little bit, and I think Tom Hardy would do the same. And I think also Tom Hardy and Daniel Craig are quite similar of actors, you know, which I find quite funny because people go on about Daniel Craig of how he's a bit serious all the time. Woo! Wait till they see Tom Hardy in interviews. They ain't gonna love him, I don't think, a little bit. But I'm not bothered about that stuff. I don't. When people, oh, Daniel should smile. He should smile. It's like, who cares? Who cares? I'm not bothered about that stuff. But yes, overall, I don't hate this rumor. I kind of don't. Yes, okay, I maybe would have liked an unknown. But I think after, especially Daniel, I think they really wanted to just in case, just really kind of, okay, you like that stuff, we're kind of still doing that kind of darker Bond, because, I mean, money-wise it's working, so why not keep doing it, you know? So, I don't know, yes, I would have maybe liked a bit more of a kind of humour type Bond, but, you know, Bond isn't, that shouldn't be that shouldn't be the main criteria of casting Bond. It should be great actor, and that's it. It shouldn't be the case of, oh, how is he with the jokes and all that? It's like, I'm not bothered about that at the end of the day. I've got the Roger Moore movies, I love them, that's a nice little moment of time, and I'm fine with that. So, yes, I'd like to know what you guys think. What do you think of this kind of rumour that's came out today? Very big rumour. Everyone, it's kind of blown up. Everyone's really kind of just went for it, and I kind of like, you know, it's interesting, they kind of went, the person made that report was just like, now I know this has always been said by this son and people won't believe me, and it's like, I mean, at least they know that, you know, so, it's an interesting idea. So yes, I'd like to know what you guys think. Comment down below. Would you like the idea of Tom Hardy? Do you think this sounds possible? Do you think it sounds ridiculous? I'd like to know what you guys think. Also, what would you like to actually see as Bond if Tom Hardy's not your pick? Is it Idris Elba? Is it Michael Fassbender? Tom Hiddleston? Many more? Complete unknown? I'd like to know what you guys think. So, more videos in the future. So until then, see you later.